Good morning, students. Today the new chapter is pointers. Pointers, as the name itself indicates, pointers. So these are pointing to some another thing. The thing, what are the things it's going to points? Let us see. Pointer means it's pointing something. So let us consider this is a pointer. Pointer. This pointer, it points something means what is it? See here. Let us come to the basic things of the programming language. Variables, isn't it? C++ tokens. Variables, identifiers, keywords, these are all tokens of the language. If I consider a variable, how to declare variable? Using data type and variable name. Data type, variable. What is variable? Before going to discuss pointers, let us recall what is variable. Variable is a quantity, physical quantity, its value goes on change during the execution of program. Variable also, it represents a memory location. See here. In the RAM, there are memory cells. I want to allocate memory. How to allocate memory through C++ by writing a declaration statement. If I want to reserve a memory for an integer, how to write the instruction? Int x. If I want to reserve a memory location for floating type value, I have to write float pl, right? So in this way we will reserve a memory in the RAM. For what purpose I am going to reserve memory? To store some data there. What type of data I want to store in a memory location, we have to choose that kind of data type. If I want to store numerical values, that to integer, I must use data type is int. If I want to store floating type value, that is fractional numbers, I have to use float. See, in each and every memory location, x represents a memory location, 2 byte. You all know the size of integer in a 16-bit compiler, that is 2 byte. Somewhere a 4 byte of memory is allocated for P. This 4 byte of memory is named as P. It stores a floating type value. So what you have to observe here, in each and every memory location, what we have reserved here, x and p, it takes a value from the user. So initially it doesn't contain a value, isn't it? It contains a garbage value, some junk value will be there in the memory location. User has to input values to these variables. How to read value for these variables? Using the instruction cin extraction x. This is the this instruction is used to get value from the keyboard and to store in the memory location that is reserved by writing this statement. Now I want to store value for this variable cin extraction p. Okay. So for this memory location, one has to input value through the instruction. So input through the standard input statement, isn't it? Now pointer, let us come to pointer. As per the definition, pointer is also a variable, but it stores the address of another memory location or another variable. Here these are the variables. I'll take this as y. I can take any name there. I took y here. Here x and y are the variables. X is an integer and y is a floating type variable. It takes integer type value and y it takes float type value, and these values are given by the users. Okay. Now let us come to pointers. Pointers, it pointing something means what does it point? It points some memory location. How does it point another memory location? It shows the path. Pointer ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದಕ್ಕೆ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. ಅಂದರೆ ಇಟ್ ಶೋಸ್ ದ ಪಾತ್. ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಯಾವುದೋ ಮೆಮೊರಿಗೆ ಪಾತ್ನ ತೋರಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಮೆಮೊರಿ ಪಾತ್ನ ಇದು ತೋರಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಪಾಯಿಂಟರ್ ಅಂತ. Then what is the definition of pointer? As per the definition, pointer pointer is a variable. It is a variable basically. It stores the address of another variable or another memory location. It stores the address of memory location. This is the nature of pointer. One thing you should understand here, pointer is nothing but it is a variable. It stores the address of a memory location. Then how to reserve memory for pointer? First of all, we have to give a memory location. We have to allocate memory for pointers also, no? Because in order to store another memory location address, there must be a ಸ್ಟೋರೇಜ್ ನೋ. ಈಗ ಒಂದು ಮೆಮೊರಿ ಅಡ್ರೆಸ್ನ ಇದು ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಫಸ್ಟು ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಕಂಟೈನರ್ ಇರಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ. ಪಾಯಿಂಟರ್ ಈಗ ನಾನು ತೊಗೊಳ್ತೀನಿ, ಇದು ಒಂದು ಕಂಟೈನರ್ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ, ಇದೊಂದು ಮೆಮೊರಿ ಲೊಕೇಶನ್. ದಿಸ್ ಮೆಮೊರಿ ಲೊಕೇಶನ್ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಅಡ್ರೆಸ್ 700. ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಅನದರ್ ಮೆಮೊರಿ ಲೊಕೇಶನ್, ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಅಡ್ರೆಸ್ ಇಸ್ 900. So this memory location has to store the address of this memory location. What is the address of this memory? 900. I want to store 900 here so that it points 900. When it stores the address of another memory location, then what does it mean? This memory, this is a pointer. It has become a pointer. So whom it is pointing? This memory location. Okay, the memory location whose address is 900, no? That memory location is pointed by this memory location 700. Now I must reserve this memory location in order to store the address of that memory location. Then how to reserve this memory? You all know how to reserve memory by writing declaration statement. If I reserve, I will give name here like this, P, I will give P. As per what we have learnt, basically what we have learnt in tokens, and after that how to declare variables and these things we already discussed. According to our knowledge, how to reserve a memory? By writing declaration statement. I want to reserve memory for P. How can I write this 900? Right now I have taken memory addresses are 900. Actually memory addresses are hexadecimal numbers. Anyhow a hexadecimal number is also a numerical value. It comes under integers only, octal integer, decimal integer and hexadecimal integer. So basically it is an integer itself. If I take int P, what does that compiler understand? Int P is a variable, it's an integer variable. It accepts only integer type value, that it accepts a value from the keyboard. Are you understanding? So ಇದು ಏನಂತ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, int P ಅಂತ ಬರೆದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಮೆಮೊರಿ, ಆ ಮೆಮೊರಿ ಯಾವ ಟೈಪ್ ಅದು ಇಂಟೀಜರ್ ಟೈಪು, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಟೀಜರ್ ಟೈಪ್ ಡೇಟಾ ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಅದು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ವಿ ಕಾಂಟ್ ಕಾಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಆಸ್ ಅ ಪಾಯಿಂಟರ್. ಇದು ಯಾವ ಮೆಮೊರಿ ಅಡ್ರೆಸ್ನು ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಮೆಮೊರಿ ಅಡ್ರೆಸ್ನ ಹಾಕ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಇದು ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ವೇರಿಯೇಬಲ್ ಥರ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ. ದೆನ್ ಹೌ ಟು ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಪಾಯಿಂಟರ್? ವಿ ಮಸ್ಟ್ ಆ್ಯಡ್ ದಿಸ್ ಆಪರೇಟರ್, ಸ್ಟಾರ್ ಆಪರೇಟರ್. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಹೌ ಟು ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈ ವೆದರ್ ದಟ್ ವೇರಿಯೇಬಲ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಪಾಯಿಂಟರ್? It has to preceded with this operator, star operator, then it has become pointer. So it gets the nature so that it can access the memory address of another variable. It can store the memory address of other memory location. So one thing is clear here. First, pointer is a variable. It can take address or it can store the address of another variable or another memory location. Then how to reserve memory for pointer? The same method, data type and pointer name, but pointer name has to preceded with star operator. Then we can identify that is a pointer. So there is a difference, no? If I write int P and int star P, P is a normal variable and this P is a pointer variable. So when you write this statement, what happens? There is a memory for P. Okay, so and it has the nature, it can store the address of another memory location. We don't know the addresses of memory locations, isn't it? Do we know the memory location's address? Can we give from the keyboard? If a program expect a value, integer value or a floating value, user can input that value. If a program expect a string or a character, we can input a value. Now the thing is different. This P, I'll consider the address is 800 here. Here I'll take this as n, I'll take. This is a normal variable and P is a pointer variable. When you write this statement, there is a memory allocation for P. Its address is 800. Every memory location has its own address. And one more statement, n, int n. There is another memory. Its name is n. Let us consider the address is 200. To make you understand easily, I have taken addresses as an integer, decimal integers. Actually, these addresses are hexadecimal. Now, can we give the value for n? Yes, of course, because it expects integer value. Cout, enter n value. Cin, extraction n. Assume n is 5. So now star p is there, no? P is a pointer. I want to store address of n into p. Are you understanding? How to store the address of n? Right now I have written on the board the address of n is 200. This is assumption. We don't know the actual address of a memory locations. User can't give the address of memory locations. Then how to store the address of another memory location? Who will give the address of a memory location? We already learnt an operator in the basic class in the last year, isn't it? First introduction to C++. There we understood the different operators used in C++. In other operators we learnt ampersand operator. This operator. This is called address operator. This operator returns the address of a memory location. Okay. Then how to use it? If you want to know the address of any memory location, you can write like this. I want to display the address of n. I can display like this. Address of n is, I don't have space there, I'll continue here. Cout, I can write like this, ampersand n. Then I display the address of n. How it will show? In the output screen, address of n is 200. Like that it display. Now I want to store this address into the memory location, not on the screen. Where I want to store? In this pointer. Then how to write, how to assign? We must use assignment operator in order to store the address of a memory location into pointer. I can write like this. P is equal to ampersand n. This is very important. Understood? P is equal to ampersand n. What is ampersand? It returns the address of memory location. N is a memory location. The memory location is identified by the name n, and this memory address is 200. I want to store this memory address into the pointer. For this pointer also there is a memory allocation. It is waiting for this value. How to store? When we write this statement, int star p, I have taken integer pointer. We can take different type of pointers there. Okay. So right now I have taken integer pointer. It stores the address of an integer variable. When we write this statement, what happens? There is a memory allocation for this pointer. Nothing will store in this memory. When the address of another memory will store, which memory address you want to store, then we have to write this statement. Understood? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕಂಪಲ್ಸರಿ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಈಗ ಒಂದು ಪಾಯಿಂಟರ್ನ ತೊಗೊಂಡು ಒಂದು ವೇರಿಯೇಬಲ್ದ ಅಡ್ರೆಸ್ನ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಮಾಡಲೇಬೇಕಾ ಹಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಥರ ಫೆಸಿಲಿಟಿ ಇದೆ C++ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಇನ್ C++ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಅ ಫೆಸಿಲಿಟಿ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟರ್. ಇಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಶೋ ದ ಅಡ್ರೆಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಅನದರ್ ವೇರಿಯೇಬಲ್. ನೌ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ in our program. To learn the nature of pointers, I have taken different type of examples and different conditions I have assumed here. Further also I'll take a different types of programs to explain pointers. In every program it is not a mandatory we must take a pointer and we have to store the address of variable into pointer. That is not the thing. See how to understand this. In C++, how we have a different concepts. Previously I explained class and objects, function overloading, inheritance concept. Like that we have another concept called pointer. It is one of the natures of language. A pointer is also a thing which comes under C++ language. What are the characteristics of pointer and how does it work and what is the nature of the pointer? When do we use pointers? So these are the things we are going to cover in this chapter. ಹಾಗಂತ ಎಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮಲ್ಲೂ ಪಾಯಿಂಟರ್ಸ್ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾ? ಅದಿಲ್ಲ. ಪಾಯಿಂಟರ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಏನು, ಅದು ಹೆಂಗೆ ವರ್ಕ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅದ್ರ ನೇಚರ್ ಏನು, ಯಾವ ಥರ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮಲ್ಲಿ ಅದನ್ನು ತೋರಿಸೋಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನೀಗ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ಸ್ನ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಅಸ್ಯೂಮ್ ದ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು write the different programs on pointer. Okay, through the examples, through the programs only we can understand these concepts. So I'll assume different situations here. Right now I consider a pointer, that is integer pointer. I want to store the address of integer variable into this pointer. Okay, so you all know the declaration statement. What happens when you write the declaration statement, memory will be allocated. Like that it happens here. For pointer also there is a memory and for n also. Now I'll read a value for n. N is a normal variable, no, normal integer variable. It takes an integer from the user. When this statement executes, user will enter a value and it will be stored in n. Now I want to store address of n into p. How can we ask like this? Enter the address of n. If I give the statement, it will be displayed on the screen. That's it. User don't know the address of n. Then who will give the address of n? Ampersand operator. So we should not ask address of variables or address of memory locations. So that is the internal process. We have to write some instructions in order to store the address of variable. I want to store address of n into p. So this is the way to store the address of n into p. By using assignment operator, we have to assign the address of n into p. What happens? What is the address of n? 200. 200 will be assigned to p. What happens if I write like this? Instead of writing this statement, I'll comment it. I'll write like this. N is equal to 10. What happens? 10 will be assigned to n. It means n contains 10. The value of n is 10 now. Like that. P is equal to ampersand n. Ampersand n means address of n, 200. 200 will be stored in p. It will be assigned to p. What is there? 200. Okay, so how to assign a value? Using assignment operator. In this way we can assign the address of variable or a memory location to p. This is called pointer initialization. Pointer initialization. Then what do we call it as? This line we call it as pointer declaration. Pointer declaration. So for what we learned? Pointer. What is pointer? How to declare a pointer and how to initialize a pointer. Isn't it? Pointer is a variable, isn't it? Because it shows a memory. It represents a memory. Pointer is a memory variable. It stores the address of another memory location. Now this is the way to reserve a memory for the pointer. Reserving a memory for pointer is nothing but this is called pointer declaration. Then after declaration there is no value in the pointer variable. I have to store address of a variable. How? Using ampersand operator. So this is the way to initialize the address of a variable into pointer. Let us write the general syntax of these two. First, definition. Pointer is a variable. Pointer is a variable. It stores the address of another variable or memory location. Another variable or memory location. Next, syntax to declare pointer. Declaration, declaring the pointer. So we have discussed example int star p semicolon. What do we call it as int? Int is a data type. Space star operator, pointer name. Pointer name is any valid identifier. Example int star p semicolon. Next, syntax to initialize pointers. I hope you remember what is the example we discussed. P is equal to ampersand n, isn't it? P is a pointer variable, is equal to, that is assignment operator. Ampersand is an operator, address operator. N is a normal variable. Pointer variable is equal to ampersand, this is assignment operator, ampersand normal variable semicolon. You should not write star operator here. Okay, while writing example you have to show like this. If they ask you to write the example to initialize a pointer, don't write only this, don't give the example for only this line. You must write declaration and also initialization. Int star p comma n. You must write example like this only. Pointer initialization example ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಬರೀ ಇಷ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಬರಿಬಾರ್ದು, ಡಿಕ್ಲೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಆಮೇಲೆ ತೋರಿಸ್ಬೇಕು. Here p is equal to ampersand n. P is a pointer variable is equal to ampersand n is a normal variable. ಇದೆರಡು ಏನು ಅಂತ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಡಿಕ್ಲೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ. ಸೊ ಡಿಕ್ಲರೇಷನ್ಗೆ ಇಷ್ಟು ಸಾಕು. ಇನಿಷಿಯಲೈಸೇಷನ್ಗೆ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಅಂತ ಬಂದಾಗ ಈ ಎರಡೂ ಬರಿಬೇಕು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, direct accessing. What is mean by direct accessing? See, accessing a value, what does it mean accessing? Accessing means either we use a memory to input a value or to display the content of a memory. That is called as accessing. accessing ಅಂದರೆ ಒಂದು ಮೆಮೊರಿಗೆ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಹಾಕ್ತೀವಿ ಅಥವಾ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿರೋ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಅಪ್ಡೇಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದಾಗಿರ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ ಅದು ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇ ಮಾಡೋದಾಗಿರ್ಬೋದು. These are the operations to perform certain operations on the data which is stored in the memory location. So in order to perform these operations we need the data, we have to access the data. That is called accessing, isn't it? Now I want to read a value for a variable. I'll take float p, I'll take, or I can take float a. There is a variable called A. Its data type is float, so it occupies 4 byte of memory. Let us consider the address is 8000. It can take a floating type value. Now how to read C in extraction A? This way I can read. I am accessing this variable, this memory. Why? For what purpose I am accessing? I want to store a value into that memory location. So I want to access that memory location. This is called accessing. I want to display the content of A. See out A is equal to A. First I access the memory to read data. Let us give 10. Now I am displaying the content. Just now what we read, I want to display that on the screen. A is equal to 10. So this is read operation and this is the write operation, input operation, output operation. For these two purposes I have taken that memory name, isn't it? That is called accessing a variable. I want to update A is equal to A plus 2. I want to update the value of A, that memory location. So I must use the name of that memory. A is equal to A plus 2. 10 ಇರೋದು ನಾನು ಆ 10 modify ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಆ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂನ ನಾನು modify ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಆ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಐ ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಗಿವ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಟು ದ ಮೆಮೊರಿ. ಈ ಮೆಮೊರಿಗೆ ನಾನೊಂದು ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು. ದಟ್ ಮೆಮೊರಿ ಈಸ್ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈಡ್ ಬೈ ದ ನೇಮ್ ಎ. ಸೊ ಐ ಯೂಸ್ ದ ನೇಮ್ ಎ. ನೌ ಐ ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇ ದ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದಟ್ ಮೆಮೊರಿ. How to display that content of memory? Either I can use the name of the memory or I can use the address of memory. So which is the better way? Name I can use. Usually we don't know the address of a memory location. I am telling again, these are the assumptions. Addresses are assumption here. So in every program, in all programs, we have taken name of the memory to access the content of that memory. Alba usual method ಏನು, memory name na use ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನ access ಮಾಡೋಕೆ. So here also I have taken name of the memory to display the content of A. Now I want to modify the content. Whose content I want to modify? This memory content. Then how to modify? Using the memory name. A is equal to, again that modified value has to store in A only. So I have taken A is equal to A plus 2. So what you need to observe here, for all these operations, either for read operation, write operation or update operation, whatever, I am accessing this memory. In what way I am accessing? By using its name, identifier. Okay, this is called direct accessing. Accessing a value of a variable in one step by using its name, its identifier. That is called direct accessing. I hope you understood what is direct accessing. Let us understand indirect accessing. Indirect accessing. So indirect accessing, how? First I'll explain the rule here. Indirect accessing. Instead of accessing value of variable by using its name, okay, what we discussed in a direct accessing, we should not take its name. Direct agi, indirect name itself indicates indirect. We should not use directly that name. A memory name na use madala. So let us use the address of the variable. We don't know the address. Then how to access the content of the memory by using address? First we have to know the address. Are you understanding? So in indirect addressing, we should not use the memory name directly. We use the address of that memory. Okay. First I have to store the address, no? One variable has to store the address of that memory. Which variable? You can take any variable. I'll take float p, star p. P is a pointer. We already discussed here. P is a pointer. Star p ಅಂತ ಬರೆದ್ರೆ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ ಏನು ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ? ಪಾಯಿಂಟರ್. It indicates a pointer. There is a question. Name the operator. Name the pointer operator. Star is a pointer operator. Now I'll take one more variable. Same example I'll take here, A. So there is a memory allocation for P. Consider its address is 300. And another memory, its name is A. it's having address 8,000. Now I want to perform certain operation on this memory A. I want to read value for this memory, but I should not use name. I want to use the address. Okay, who is there to give the address of variable? This operator, ampersand operator. It returns the address of A. Then how can I read? Cin extraction. I should not use name. I have to use the address of that. Okay. How to write this instruction? Using address, I have to go to that memory. Okay. One must be there to point that address. Are you understanding? See, to read a value for this memory, I should not use A, the name. Directly I should not use the name. I must use the address of that memory. Now first, what is the procedure? First we have to collect the address of that memory and we have to keep aside that address. Okay, then how it is? P is equal to ampersand A. What happens? Ampersand A ampersand andre enartha? Address 8,000 will be stored in P. 8,000. Now what happens? P pointing this memory. The address of A is now stored in P, no? So what happened? There will be a link generated between P and A. Understood? So P is pointing the memory 8,000. Now I can access this memory using this pointer. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾಯಿಂಟರ್ ಇಂದ ಆಕ್ಸೆಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಏನರ್ಥ? ಪಾಯಿಂಟರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿದೆ? ಈ ಮೆಮೊರಿ ಅಡ್ರೆಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಅಂದರೆ ಇಂಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ನಾನು ಅಡ್ರೆಸ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಈ ಮೆಮೊರಿನ ಆಕ್ಸೆಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಇಂಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಕ್ಸೆಸಿಂಗ್. ಆಕ್ಸೆಸಿಂಗ್ ಅ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಆಫ್ ಅ ವೇರಿಯೇಬಲ್ in 2 steps by using pointer which is pointing the address of that memory location where I want to store the data, isn't it? Now Cin extraction. Now how to access, how to read the data for A? If I write like this, if I write Cin extraction P, what happens? That is a pointer, we cannot give a value. Then how? The procedure is like this. P has to go to this memory and inside this memory it has to give the value. Like that I have to write. So I must use star P. This is called indirect accessing. Okay. See P, what is there in the P? 8,000. If you write only P content is 8,000. If I write star P, star, it goes to the memory location of this address. What does it contain? 8,000. Andre bari P andre enu? Pointer ಒಳಗಡೆ ಏನಿದೆ? 8,000 ಇದೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ P ಅಂತ ನಾನು ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ 8,000 ಅಂತ. ಸ್ಟಾರ್ P ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ 8,000 ಮೆಮೊರಿ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಹೋಗಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. Understood? So Cin extraction. Cin, you know that the usage of Cin, it extracts a value from the keyboard and inserts into the variable which is followed by this operator. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ವೇರಿಯೇಬಲ್ ಇದೆ? ಸ್ಟಾರ್ P ಅಂತ ಇದೆ. P ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿದೆ? 8,000 ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಅವಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? 8,000 ಮೆಮೊರಿಗೆ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸ್ಟಾರ್ P ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ 8,000 ಮೆಮೊರಿ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ I want to display, see out, I want to display value of A. A is equal to, I am displaying the value of A only, but I should not use the variable what I have taken here. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು. ಇಲ್ಲಿ A ಅಂತ ಅಂದರೆ ಆ ಮೆಮೊರಿ ನೇಮೇ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. Here I should not use that name. I must use the pointer. This is indirect method. How? If I write P, it shows A is equal to 8,000. What is there in the P? 8,000 is there. So A is equal to 8,000. I don't want to display the memory address. Now I want to display the content of A. If I take A is equal to 10. Now it has to display the 10. How? Star P we must write. That's why star is also called indirection operator. This is we learned in the last year, operators. Now I want to update. How? I want to update the value of A. How we updated here? A is equal to A plus 2. What is there in the A? 10. 10 plus 2. Again it will be stored in A. But in this case, we should not use A. We must, the operations, whatever the operations you want to perform on this variable, you have to perform using pointer. Star P is equal to star P plus 2. What does it show, star P? Star P represents the content of A. P, address of A. Star P, content of A. Star P, 10. 10 plus 2, 12. It will be stored in star P. Star P means A only. A ಒಳಗೆ ಏನಿದೆಯೋ ಅದು ಏನು ಮೆಮೊರಿನ ಅಡ್ರೆಸ್, ಮೆಮೊರಿ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಏನು ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ ಇದೆ ಅದು ಯಾರು ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರೋದು, ಸ್ಟಾರ್ ಪಿ. Understood? So this is about direct accessing and indirect accessing. So what is meant by direct accessing? Accessing a value of variable in one step by using a variable name itself. Indirect accessing, accessing a value of variable in two steps through the pointer which is pointing to the memory location where I want to access the data. Whose data I want to access, its memory is pointed by the pointer. This is called indirect accessing. Okay, let us write the definitions of direct accessing and indirect accessing. Direct accessing. Accessing a value of a variable in one step by using the variable name itself. Example, you can write this example. Indirect accessing. Indirect accessing. Accessing a value of a variable in two steps. First, a pointer points the location of variable, then using star operator it accesses the content of variable. So this is about direct accessing and indirect accessing. Let us understand some problems on indirect accessing. Programs on indirect accessing. Header files. Here I'll show using in the normal method, procedural oriented. I'm not taking class and objects concept here. Void main See here, I'll take two variables and I'll perform arithmetic operations, basic arithmetic operations on those variables using pointers. Int a comma b and sum. I'll take enough. To store the address of these two variables, I need two pointers here. You can continue here itself, star p1 comma star p2. See out, enter two integers. See in extraction a, I'll take here, I'll use the direct access method. This is a and b, accessing variables, direct access it is, access. When you write this statement, what happens? There is a memory allocation for a and b and p1, p2. Every memory locations has their own addresses, 800 somewhere, this is 500 and this is 900. Okay, so these two are the pointers and these two are the normal variables. Now I want to calculate addition, sum of these two values. See out, insertion. So before that, we have to store the address of these variables into pointers. Indirect accessing, see, as per the definition, accessing a value of variable in two steps. In order to add these two values, in order to add the values of a and b, we have to access the contents of a and b. If I take a is equal to 3 and b is equal to 4, to perform addition operation, we need values of these two variables, but I should not use the names of these two variables directly. I have to take address, that is address of these. So I must store the address of a into p1 and address of b to p2. That is your wish. If you want to store address of b to p1, you can store there. To avoid a confusion, I have taken p1 for a and p2 for b. Later, a pointer has to point the location, then using star operator we have to access. Now P1 is equal to ampersand A, P2 is equal to ampersand B. So ampersand A, address of A 200 will be stored in P1. B, address of B is 800 will be stored in P2. Now P1 is pointing A and P2 is pointing B. Understood? P1 points A and P2 points B. Through the P1, through the pointer P1 I can access content of A. Through pointer P2 I can access content of B. Now see out, insertion, sum is equal to, I can write like this, star P1 plus star P2. Isn't it? Or let us display the contents in this program. Later I will show the operations. So let us start from the simple programs. See out, A is equal to, I want to display value of A, so which is pointed by P1, so I must write star P1. Backslash n, cursor comes to next line. See out, insertion, B is equal to star P2. That's it. So what we understood from this program, we are accessing the contents of variables, normal variables, through the pointers. Initially, to read values I used direct access method, and these two are the indirect access method. Indirect access. One thing you should observe in this program, to store the address of integer variables, I have taken integer pointers. So there is a compatible pointer here. For integer variables, I have taken two integer pointers. If I take floating type variables, float AB, so I have taken floating type pointers. To store the address of A and address of B, I have taken two pointers. These two variables are floating type, so I must take floating type variables here. 3.2, here I will take 4.5. Is it mandatory we should take a compatible pointer, same type of pointer to store the address of variables? Yes, but when it is required, when we perform an operations on pointers, if you want to add the content of variable through pointer, if you want to move from one pointer to another pointer, then we must take same type of pointers here. So what does it mean? In this example, I perform two operations. One is read operation, another one is write operation, that is input operation and display operation, output operation. For this purpose, we can manage using same type of pointer, using integer pointer only, because all memory addresses are unsigned integers. This is very important concept. You should remember it. All memory locations address are unsigned integers. If you take floating type memory or integer type memory, double type or long type, then character type, all memory locations addresses are unsigned integer. Unsigned means there is no sign, positive, negative, not there. Only the magnitude we have to consider, unsigned integers. One integer requires how many bytes? 2 bytes of memory location. So to store address of any memory location, we need pointers. That is, we learned in this chapter. So purpose of pointer is to store the address of memory location. Address of memory locations are unsigned integers. See, if I take floating type variables, A, B are the floating type variables. Each variable occupies 4 bytes of memory location, though it is a floating type. So here float, it concentrates on the content of a memory, not the address of memory. That you need to observe here. Here it's a data type. Float is a data type. Data type, it concerned with the value of a variable. What type of value that memory stores? 3.2. 3.2 is a fractional number, floating type value. So the data type always related to the content of a variable, not the address of variable. Always all memory locations address are unsigned integers. ಅದು ಯಾವತ್ತು ಯಾವುದೇ ಮೆಮೊರಿ ಆಗಿರಲಿ, ಇಂಟೀಜರ್ ಮೆಮೊರಿ ಆಗಿರಲಿ, ಫ್ಲೋಟ್ ಆಗಿರಲಿ, ಡಬಲ್ ಆಗಿರಲಿ, ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಆಗಿರಲಿ, ಎನಿ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೆಮೊರಿ, ಎನಿ ಟೈಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೆಮೊರಿ, ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಅಡ್ರೆಸ್ ಇಸ್ unsigned integer. It should be, you should clear with this concept. ಇದು ಮಾತ್ರ ನಿಮಗೆ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ನೆನಪಿರಬೇಕು. ಎಲ್ಲ ಥರದ್ದು ಯಾವುದೇ ಟೈಪ್ ಮೆಮೊರಿ ರಿಸರ್ವ್ ಆಗಿರಲಿ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಮೆಮೊರಿ ಅಡ್ರೆಸ್ ಅನ್ಸೈನ್ಡ್ ಇಂಟೀಜರ್. Then to store the address of memory, we need a memory. Are you understanding? To store address of this memory, A is a memory name, A is a memory name. So this memory address is 200. A is a what type of memory? It is floating type of memory. Its address is 200. Though it is a floating type memory, its address is unsigned integer. In order to store the address of this memory, we need another memory location. ಈಗ ಒಂದು ಮೆಮೊರಿದ ಅಡ್ರೆಸ್ನ ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ನನಗೆ ಕಂಟೈನರ್ ಬೇಕು. ಆ ಕಂಟೈನರ್ನ ರಿಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ದಟ್ ಮೆಮೊರಿ ಐ ರಿಸರ್ವ್ಡ್. ದಿಸ್ ಮೆಮೊರಿ ಗೆಟ್ಸ್ ದ ನೇಚರ್ such that it has to store the address of another memory. ಅಂದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಕಂಟೈನರ್ ರೆಡಿ ಇದೆ, ನನಗೆ ಒಂದು ಮೆಮೊರಿ ಅಡ್ರೆಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಆ ಮೆಮೊರಿ, ಇಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಮೆಮೊರಿ ರಿಸರ್ವ್ ಆಗಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಈ ಮೆಮೊರಿ ಏನು ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಮೆಮೊರಿ ಅಡ್ರೆಸ್ನ ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಒಂದು ಮೆಮೊರಿ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಮೆಮೊರಿ ಅಡ್ರೆಸ್ನ ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಅದೇನಾಗಿರಬೇಕು? ಇಟ್ ಮಸ್ಟ್ ಬಿ ಎ ಪಾಯಿಂಟರ್. ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ಐ ಡಿಕ್ಲೇರ್ಡ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟರ್ ಹಿಯರ್, ಸ್ಟಾರ್ P1. Here I continued in the same line, so these two pointers also become floating type pointer. I'll change this, okay? Float P1, A comma B int star P1 comma star P2. Now I change the data type of pointers. P1, P2 have become integer. Alva? So it occupies 2 bytes of memory location. I can write like this. P1 is equal to ampersand A and P2 is equal to ampersand B. A address 200. 200 will be stored in P1. It doesn't make any difference. So though we have taken different type of variables here, I am storing float type variable address in a integer type pointers. It executes normally. I am not performing any operations on these variables. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ನಾನು ಆಪರೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಜಸ್ಟ್ ರೀಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಫಾರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಪರ್ಪಸ್ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಇಂಟೀಜರ್ ಟೈಪ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟರ್ಸ್. So A is equal to star P1 star P2. So what is there in P1? 200 is there. In P2 800 is. It doesn't make any difference. Though you take float type pointers or integer type pointers, it doesn't make any difference. I have explained why, what is the reason. All memory locations are unsigned integers. Okay. So to store this address, we need 2 byte of memory. 2 byte memory means it is an integer. That's why I have taken integer. When it is required, the same type of pointer to store the address of that variable, when we want to perform certain operation on these variables, I'll show you in the next program. Right now what you have to understand, to store the address of a variable, we can take a pointer that is integer type pointer is enough to store and display. Understood? Let us see another program. The program has to display the content of memory of different type and address of memory and how many bytes it occupies. Program to display the size of different type of variables and pointers. Hash include IO string, hash include column, void main. So I'll take 3 different type of variables. I'll take int x, float y, char c. I'll take. Here I have taken 3 different type of variables, and I'll take different type of pointers also. Star p1, star p2, star P3. What I am going to show here, X, Y, Z are different type of variables, P1, P2, P3 are different types of pointers. Let us display the size of memory locations occupied by these variables. When we write declaration statement, memory allocation will be takes place. X which type? Integer type. This is int type, 2 bytes. P1 integer type memory. Consider the address is 200. Here I'll take address is 800. Y, this is 4 byte. This is a floating type memory, no? Its address I'll take 700. And P2, this is a pointer. Consider the address is 300. because the memory allocations, for static memory allocation, there would be a random allocation in the RAM. C, it's a character type. I'll take the address is 400, 1 byte, size is 1 byte. And P3 is a pointer, consider its address is 500. Okay, now let us initialize the address of X to P1 so that there is a link between P1 and X. Through the P1 I can read and display the content of X. See, P1 is equal to ampersand X, P2 is equal to ampersand Y, and P3 is equal to ampersand C. X, ampersand X, 200, 200 integer type, so it has to store in P1. P1 is equal to ampersand X, X is an integer, see here, X, Y and C are different type of variables. P1, P2, P3 are different type of pointers. Though they are different type of pointers, let us see what is the how many bytes it occupies. Here, X is a normal variable, normal integer variable. It occupies 2 bytes of memory, and Y is a floating type variable. It's a normal variable. It's not a pointer. It takes 4 bytes of. It allocates 4 bytes of memory, and C is a character variable. For that 1 byte of memory will be allocated. To store the address of these variables, we have taken different type of pointers. In the previous example I explained, to store and display, we can manage different type of variables address through the same type of pointer. But in this example, I am taking a respective type of pointers. Let us see the sizes of each pointers. Now, see out size of X. We all know there is an operator called size of operator. It returns the size of a variable, how much memory it occupies. To this I have to pass a variable whose size I want to display. Size of X, it returns the size of memory, size of X. See out size of Y, size of Y. See out size of C. Size of is an operator. Size of, to this operator I have to pass an argument. Okay. Now see out size of P1. P1 is a pointer. It stores the address of X. It is an integer type pointer. Size of, you can execute this program and you can see the output. For this pointer chapter, for each and every program what I explained in the class, you have, those who have facility, you can run this program in your system. Size of P1. See out size of P2 is equal to size of P2. See out insertion size of P3 is equal to size of P3. Let us see what is there in P1, P2 and P3. P1, it contains the address of X, that is 200. It is an integer type. So to store an integer value, it requires 2 bytes of memory. Then Y is a floating type variable. Its address is 700. That is also an integer. To store integer, it takes 2 bytes of memory. Though it is a floating type pointer, it occupies 2 bytes of memory. Then it display 2 bytes. For these three, it displays size of x is 2 bytes. It display only 2. It's understood it's a 2 byte. Size of y 4, it shows 4, means bytes, 4 bytes. Size of c, it shows 1, it means 1 byte. Here size of p1, it shows 2, that is 2 bytes. Here also it shows 2 bytes. Size of p3, it is 2 bytes. Though it is a character pointer, what is the address? Integer type. To store integer, it reserves 2 byte of memory, so it display 2. You can execute and you can see the output. Thank you.